Hey everyone, Danielle here. My pronouns are she, her. Today is Wednesday, September 4th, and this is my first clip for my September vlog. Really quick side note, after my August vlog turned out to be nearly an hour and 15 minutes long, I am considering going back to more like every 2 weeks. But here we are. My camera just warmed this up immensely all of a sudden. Let me see if I can... When it goes warm like this, is not the true colors. Hold on. There we go. Okay. That's better. I don't know why this phone does this. I need to look it up. So, I am coming at you with a big finish. And ironically, also, this is for a finish for Sampler September, which is nice. But yeah, so this is What Remains by Blackbird Designs. I started this project in memory of my grandmother. I stitched her initials here. Y'all, sorry, it's just gonna keep warming up apparently. Stitched her initials here, JGB. She actually, she took her husband's name when she got married, which gave her the B. She never had a legal middle name. And then after she got divorced, like many years after she got divorced actually, without really telling anybody, she decided to legally change her name to her maiden name being her middle name. So that's why there's 3 initials there. I started this in January of 2023 on what would have been her birthday in 2023. She passed away actually on September 4th of 2013 from mesothelioma. She was diagnosed in 2011 and did some chemo, did some radiation, was able to stunt the growth for a while, but then ultimately it started growing again and she passed away. I don't have a lot of family, and the relationship that I had with my mom was really bad. So my grandma was kind of like, I never want to say that she was like my mom, and she definitely like didn't raise me. But like she was, I guess I feel about her the way that a lot of women feel about their mothers, that it's like they're soft, that whole like Hallmark Lifetime crap of like, she's my soft place to fall. So yeah, when I saw this piece, actually the first time I saw this piece was Michelle Benty Stitchy had pre-ordered it from Traditional Stitches. This was back in like 2021, and it was the first sampler that I ever was like, oh my gosh, I love that so much. And then actually in the pattern, the designer talks about like thinking about her grandchildren, and so I just thought it was very interesting that like I immediately wanted to stitch this for my grandma, and then the designer talks like from the perspective of being grandma. But I did not like any of the called for anything really. By the time I was ready to stitch it, I was not interested in using Weeks Dye Works anymore, which is largely what this was kitted with, including fabric. And then also I just, once I really looked at it, like once I was actually ready to start it, so I really looked at it, I didn't like any of the colors, and a lot of the colors didn't look like what they looked like on the model. So one of the first like big things was that this basket here on the model, it looked blue, not this blue, but it looked like pale blue. There was no blue. A lot of the like pink, like the pink flower in the middle looked pink on the model. There was no pink in the called for. But I did like this color. The color that the text is in, it's half of the flower. It's this color here, this color here, this border. I really liked that color. So I stuck with that color. It's a Gentle Arts color. And I went to Acorns and I just pulled, I was like, need a green for the border, check. Need a pink for these flowers, check. Or not these flowers. Needed a pink for this border, done. These flowers are actually that one too. So needed a pink for this border, check. On the on the model, this pink and this pink and this pink looked just like a little bit like lighter, like peachier than this one. So I bought another pink for that. I decided to do a blue house because my grandma lived in a blue house when I was growing up. And then I just started and then I actually had a bunch of colors picked out to do for the birds because this wasn't a 1-for-1 conversion. And so I was like, well, obviously the green is in the border and these pinks are in the border and the house is blue. But then what do I do with the birds? Because they were all the same symbols, but these colors didn't really make sense anymore since I changed everything. So I picked out a bunch of colors and I had actually stitched this bird, this whole basket and flower, and this basket. And then decided that I kind of hated the colors that I was using. And so I ripped out both those birds and the basket. The baskets are actually even a little different than charted. They're charted in 2 colors. I simplified the baskets and did 1 color. This one I did, I think, as charted. Actually, no, I think this was supposed to be 2 or 3 different colors too. And then I just had various colors that I had I called them bird colors. And whenever I needed to stitch a bird, I just looked at how many symbols there was and I picked 2 colors or 3 colors. This peacock is the only one that has all the bird colors in it. Actually, no, it doesn't have blue because it was charted to have this color. So I stuck with that, but then it has all the other colors in it. And then the only other thing I did to personalize, intentionally did to personalize, was, so besides I added her initials, I did the year she was born, and then I took out a couple birds. Actually, there's supposed to be 5 birds on each side, but I couldn't fit these guys without taking out 2 birds on each side, but I wasn't really mad about less birds. And I put in this little cat and this little dog that I got from I have a book of antique sampler motifs. There's a ton of stuff in there, and one of the categories is dogs, cats, other animals. So when these weren't her only pets she ever had, but sort of in this era of her life when she was in this house, and she had a cat named Iji, who was an Egyptian Mao cat, and she had a black standard poodle named Kinsey. And so I wanted to put her pets on here. But yeah, so I made, I'm about ready to call this what remains, aka the mistake sampler. Because I don't normally make this many mistakes, and when I do, I don't normally leave them. But I made so many mistakes in this. And I mean, I guess life is messy, right? Life is messy. Life is not perfect. And here we are, and it's still beautiful. But the ones I know about anyway, I think this basket is 1 stitch too far this way. Somehow this bird is 1 stitch down. I don't know if it's because this is off. It might be this bird is off. This whole flower this whole flower and basket is 5 stitches too low and, or no, I'm sorry, 2 stitches too low and 5 stitches this way. What had happened was I had this flower in and I went to start the word what should have been counted off this petal, not the bottom, but I counted off the bottom. And so it's 5 that way and 2 this way. So that meant, and I mean, I didn't figure this out until after it was all stitched. And so like, I wasn't gonna rip out all that. So that meant this border had to come longer because now the piece in the middle is longer. I just decided to leave these how they fell. So they line up a little bit more than was intended, but that meant that this area had to get a little longer than it should have been. I kept the peacock where it was intended to be based off of the border. It's like supposed to be just like 1 stitch away from this leaf here. I think I left these words based on where they should have been based off the flower. And then the last mistake I made. So I was going along this border and I decided to make my birds be the colors that I chose for these 3. I decided to do the same colors over here. So when I started this bird, I had intended to count off the flower and start at the top of the bird, which meant that I needed to be using the tan color. So I had the tan color all ready to go, and then I decided it would have been easier to count off of the tail of this bird to the feet, and so I started stitching the feet with the tan color even though it was supposed to be the red color. Yeah, but it's done. So this project, like I said, started it in January of 2023, finishing it in September of 2024, so only 18 months to do like an 8,000 stitch project. For me is pretty good. Usually when I would pull this out, I would get pretty into it. So I did good progress on it every time I worked on it. And this I'm going to be taking to Acorns and Threads to get it framed. And this is going to be my first professionally framed in a custom frame piece. I've been stitching for 4 years now, and I don't have a custom framed piece. So yeah, I'm really excited. I will probably take it to Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit and put it on the brag table for a day, and then I'll take it to the shop when I go to the shop with my friends and drop it off for framing. And yeah, I don't know how long their turnaround on framing is, but this is really special to me. I'm really glad to have it done. If you watched my last vlog all the way to the end, I said that I was just gonna prime it for a finish to finish it on her birthday next year. But I don't know. I don't know if it's just the stubborn crafter in me was like, you're so close, do it. Because like it didn't take me very long at all to finish this border, and then the stuff inside, all I had inside was this border, a little bit here, and then I had to chart this. I had to chart this because there was no way I was going to get the spacing right, just on a whim, you know, winging it. There was no way I was going to get the spacing right. So I spent a few hours charting it, and then I started stitching it, and I was like, you're so close. Or if it was just like something in the universe kind of like pushing me to get it done. And I did think that it was interesting that, because normally when I pulled it out last year, I say normally like I pulled it out so many times, but when I pulled it out last year, I actually started working on it on the anniversary of her death. But this year I pulled it out a few days early, and I did think it was interesting that I could actually finish it on the anniversary of her death. So again, I don't know if the universe was just trying to tell me something that I needed to finish it, or if it was stubborn crafter activated, but it's done, and I'm so excited. I'm really happy to have it done. But yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I could do my Stitch for Pride. If I don't do Stitch for Pride, I honestly have no idea what I'm gonna work on. So surprise. You'll see in the next clip. That is all for now. Bye. Hey everyone. So it is Monday, September 16th. It's obviously been nearly 2 weeks since I filmed. Yes. So it is the end of PNWSS. I just finished up PNWSS. I'm actually still in my hotel room because I took the Sunday night to just have a nice leisurely night, kind of decompress after all of that excitement. And I wanted to film sort of a wrap-up video. I was gonna go home and just show you what I stitched on, but then I thought I wanted to show everything that I got here, and like either through the retreat or other people. And I knew that if I went home, I would never pull all this stuff out again to do this. So I'm gonna have to do these like spliced, because as you can see, I just have like piles around me, and I don't wanna, I'll just like focus on what's in front of me and then pause and come back with another pile. So I thought I would show you the stitching first, because this is going to be the last clip of my vlog. I decided after the last vlog was nearly an hour and 15 minutes that maybe I should try doing it every 2 to 3 weeks for a little while. It's not that I don't like a good long floss tube, but for some reason from my videos, it starts making me feel uncomfortable getting past like 45 minutes. So I thought I'd show you what I worked on first, and then I'm gonna show you everything that we got through the retreat itself and the stuff I got from other people. And then there's gonna be a couple videos at the end to show the brag tables. So the first thing that I worked on, and actually you haven't seen this at all since I picked it up, because I picked it up before I left for the retreat. This is this is one of the round robin pieces that I'm doing this year with Megan, Mandy, and Michelle. We picked Caroline Manning pieces. This is Caroline Manning Sweetheart, and it is a rare non-full coverage. You can see up there that this is not a full coverage piece, which is kind of rare for Caroline Manning. Excuse me. Kind of rare for Caroline Manning to not be full coverage, although she does have a fair few designs that aren't, but most of hers are full coverage. But anyway, I had started on this at home and worked on it for a week or so, and then I just wasn't quite ready to put it down. I hadn't planned to bring it to the retreat, but again, I just wasn't quite ready to put it down, so I brought it. And basically, since I picked it up, first I did this light green color because it sort of traversed, most of the span of where I need to work. And then I did this lighter, like sort of dusty rose pink color. And then I did this forest green color. And then I did this darker, more red color. And this is actually the color that I did here at the retreat. So the green and the lighter pink I had done at home. And then when I got here, I started on this. Funny story, I was here the night before we, got started. And I was like, I'll just do a little bit of stitching in the room mainly because I've stitched every single day in September so far. I'm really hoping this could be the month finally that I stitch every single day. And I was like, it seems like a silly day to like break my streak. So I was like, let me just go ahead and I'll just do a strand. It won't be very many stitches, but I can say I stitched. I get all set up to go, and I realize I don't have my stitching glasses. Now, for those of you who know, so I am local, like this is a local retreat for me, but I am about 40 minutes from home. And also I don't drive. So my husband is at home. He drives, but he does not like to drive. And he had already brought me here earlier in the day. And while we were on our way here, we did an airport run to pick up my friend Janet. So he had already, you know, traversed town, and I was just like, I just can't ask him to bring me my stitching glasses. So I did an Uber package ride. So the Uber showed up at my house, and my husband brought the Uber driver my glasses. And then the Uber driver drove them across town and met me at the hotel, and I picked them up. Because it would not have been, I can technically stitch without my glasses, but the eye strain is real. And it also, like, when you can't see the hole as well, it's harder to find the hole. So it would have been a really long weekend without my glasses. So I'm grateful that I tried to stitch that day, because otherwise I wouldn't have realized that I didn't have my glasses until the morning, like the retreat started. So I only did 14 stitches that night, because by the time I actually got them, I was like, okay, I'm now stressed out and exhausted. I'm going to bed. So, but I did stitch 14 stitches. But yeah, so then I was just like, I already started this color. Let me just finish this color. So that was the first thing I did, was I finished this color. So I will be picking this up when I get back home. That's, well, after I finish, you'll see, Stitch for Pride. But I will be picking this back up because my goal is to finish this and ship it off by the end of the month. So that was the first thing I worked on. Then I pulled out, we all remember from last month that I prepped Beachcomber to be a fill-in project. So this is so smart. Everybody who's been doing this, like, they are so smart, because I must say I had worked on the Caroline Manning piece most of the day, and my brain was kind of like, I would just like to not think about this. I would just like to not think about the stitching. So I worked on this the rest of the day on Friday, and then I worked on it all day on Saturday. And I got 19 rows, almost 19 rows out of 20, or not out of 20, what are you talking about? Out of 78 done. And this was, I think, about 610 to 620 stitches for the rest of Friday and all day Saturday. This is definitely going to go with me to Stitch New England and Stitch North. And I think that might be my goal, is to finish this box, between those two retreats. Might be a little bit of a stretch, but hopefully with what's left, I won't mind doing it at home. So I'm really pleased. Like, this was so lovely. Don't have to think about it. Didn't even have to have my tablet out. I pulled it out a couple of times just to mark stuff off, just to see how far I was. But yeah, I am really happy with this. And then I decided on Sunday morning I would start my Stitch for Pride drop. So I have started it. I will go ahead and talk about all of the learning and my color choice and everything when I'm finished. Actually, I'm a liar. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this clip. I'm going to put the videos into the brag tables, and then I will film one more short clip to show you me having finished this drop and talk about the artist and my color choices and everything. So yeah, I'm pretty close. I think there's only like high 200 numbers left. I've stitched 5 of the 9 triangles, so I'm on triangle number 6. It's a pretty light triangle, and then the next triangle is full coverage, and then the one after that is a very light triangle, and then the last triangle is almost full coverage. So there is still a fair bit of stitching ahead of me, but I feel really good about this progress. I was kind of like, oh, I could bust this out yesterday. No, I was too tired. So, but I think yesterday I did about 280 stitches, and today I think I've done, I didn't check, but probably today all I've done today is this triangle and what I have here. So yeah, you will see this as a finish in the next clip of my stitching. So that is everything I stitched while I was here. I'll have to add up the numbers and put it on the screen or something. But yeah, so I'm gonna pause this and get another pile in front of me, and then we'll keep going. Okay, so this section is going to be things I got from the retreat itself. So everything that kind of came with the purchase of the retreat. So the first thing is that every Acorns event, you get one name tag at your first event, and this is, you always bring it with you, and then they give you a little charm for the events. And so this was the PNWSS 2024 charm. So I attached that to my name tag, otherwise I would either potentially lose it or just never get it on there. So I did that. They gave us these beautiful Ort jars. I don't remember, and that would be a theme, so I'll probably just stop saying it. I don't remember anybody who gives me anything. Like, if they don't brand it with who they are, I'm definitely not gonna remember who gave it. But this is reclaimed silver that's on the front of this little glass jar. There's acorns and a needle with thread, and yeah, it's just a beautiful little Ort jar. So yeah, that was lovely. It was specially made for the shop. So these two things were part of our make it and take it's. Janine is very, very low frills, low key with the make it and take it, which I appreciate, because I do not want to do DIY crafts while I'm at my stitching retreat. I just want to stitch. So this is a cute little tray with a couple magnets on top, and the make it part was supposed to be that the little felt pads were separate, and so you had to put them on. But some of us really struggled with taking the, getting the paper separated from the adhesive, and so I opted, no, I am not participating in this make it part. I will take it, but I'm not making it. But yeah, so it's an embossed tray to put your little stitchy tools on, like so. Yeah. So then the other make it and take it was this cell phone case, which did come, the materials for this were made by Beth Twist's husband, Heartstring Samplery. He is known as the Boardroom because they take like fallen or overcrowded trees on their property. I think they had said they have 25 acres in the woods, and they make things out of them. They have like a wood dryer, and they have like the saws and the planers and all the stuff. And so they made this cell phone case, and yeah, or cell phone stand, which for one of my table mates was perfect because she normally uses a cell phone stand, but she had forgotten hers at home. And so this was extremely helpful for her. And I went ahead and put my phone on it too, and just let it sit there, because sometimes I'll just leave the screen on my phone, and I don't know, it's some kind of anxiety response. So then this bag here was sort of like the swag bag that I think everything would have been in, but they sort of parceled it to us over the weekend, so the bag itself felt a little light. But as you could see, we did get other gifties. But so it's just this clear zippable bag. It looks like it would hold, you know, a nice tablet size or a good project. And it came with this vinyl sticker that you can put onto it. It says, I know you can't read because it's white on white, but it says, "Out of my way, I'm on my way to Acorns and Threads." And then it gives the address and the phone number for the shop. Some people said they wanted to put it on their car, which that's smart too. We always get a bag of M&Ms from the shop. I think the theory with the M&Ms is that it is a very cross-stitch friendly snack, because you don't get any of the chocolate on your hands. And then we got a beautiful floss bling jewelry thing with the PNWSS logo and some beads, and it looks like we could easily take this off the ring, and there's a lobster claw type or whatever that is, and you could put it on the zipper for this or a zipper for whatever you want. But you could use this also to put your floss on for something. So that was the bag. And then the stuff that would have been in the bag, but like I said, they kind of just parceled it to us all weekend. And then, again, this is part of the retreat. We get 2 projects. Now, this is kind of going to be funny the way I'm going to show this because it's 2 projects. It is 2 designers. So there's 2 kits. But because the projects marry up, I will have to put a picture on the screen for you. I will put actually 3 pictures on the screen for you because you can totally stitch these projects as their own separate pieces, or you could stitch them together as one piece. And so because of that, they split up their kits a little bit. So like in one kit you had the fabric, in one kit you had the floss. I just sort of deconstructed everything and laid it out on the table. So the one thing that I really loved was this bag. This is what the Teresa Kogut side of the kit came in. And you can see most of the pattern here actually for Teresa's pattern. And so I love that it came with a project bag because then that just makes it like extra special, I think, personally. But yeah, so I love that. And then also, this is the bag that Beth's part of the kit came in. And she hand stamped a little beaver. You'll see why. She hand stamped a beaver. And so it is a drawstring type bag. And she did that, she said she did that specifically because she is trying to use less plastic in her packaging, which is fantastic. They gave us these little buttons, which partially for a thing that I'll show you later, although you could just do anything you want with them. You could make needle minders, you could sew them onto the project, you can sew them onto one of the things that I'll show you here in a minute. So they gave us these little buttons. You can see that one is the raccoon, which you'll see better when I show you the patterns. And the other one is the beaver. So yeah, the buttons. On the Beth side, because this came from the boardroom, they made us a floss drop, a little floss holder thing with the raccoon and the beaver. I'm sure you're sensing a theme. And it's so cute. And then it has the quote from the chart, which is that distance means so little when someone means so much, which I love the sentiment. My problem is I'm never going to do this much stitching and give it away. That's not happening. I have a couple of people who would fit this sentiment, but no, that's not happening. Like, this is mine. So this is too much work to send away. So we got that. From the Teresa side, I don't know what this is because it's like hard plastic. You really can't punch through it. So it's not meant to be a floss drop. It's not a sticker. It's not a magnet, but it's obviously a sampler, some of her designs that she had printed on something. Also, she gave us a Teresa Kogut sticker, which if I do any kind of Pinwist page in my journal, I'll save this for that. It's just going to live in the kit with the rest of the stuff. These I love. So these I will send. I don't know how many are in here. 3? I think there might be 3, and that's like perfect because I have 3 very close friends that live far away from me. So I will send these probably at some random time to let them know that I'm thinking about them. And also in the package in the back there is the raccoon sticker. So then that's all the little like goodies that came with the charts, I should say. This is the floss. It's a lot of Weeks Dye Works. There are 14 colors, 11 of them are Weeks Dye Works. I am having a dilemma. If you've been here for a long time, you know how I feel about Weeks Dye Works. If you haven't been here a long time, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, to make a very long story short, there was an incident a few years ago where they had a name of a floss color that was, to a lot of people, considered inappropriate. They got called out for it, and instead of, you know, kind of taking accountability and being like, we're sorry if this caused any harm to anybody, they just like very quietly under the table changed the name, didn't say anything, didn't acknowledge anything, but also really didn't execute the name change very well. Like, they didn't like let designers know, they didn't let shops know. So like, shops for a long time were still ordering it the other way, designers were still calling for it the other way. It took a really long time to shake out. In fact, you can still, in shops, they're still like, hey, like, this floss is now that floss, so look for it over there, you know? But the problem with it being so many weeks for me to sub, I don't mind spending the money to buy floss that I'm happier with, but like, not only do they have to be close to the original color, they then also have to go well together. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm just subbing 1 or 2 colors. I'm subbing 11 out of 14 colors. That's a lot. Also, I want to stitch this 2 over 2 instead of 1 over 2. So even if I was like, hey, let me just like, I already paid for this, it was part of, you know, because like, and I'm totally like, hey, if it's in my stash already because I bought it before I knew, or I bought it because, and it came with the whole thing, I'm like, you know, use it like you have it. Don't, you know, don't waste it. But if I want to stitch 2 over 2 instead of 1 over 2, there's definitely a few colors, like probably 2 or 3 colors that I'm going to need to buy additional skeins of, which means I have to buy Weeks Dye Works, which I feel like I kind of draw a line at spending money on Weeks Dye Works. So yeah, I don't exactly know what to do. I did, you'll see it when I talk about what I bought. I did buy most replacements. I think there was 3 colors that I just couldn't get a good read on in the shop, and I'll work on them later, but I just honestly don't know what to do. But yeah, so there are 3 classic colorworks in here too. There's that white color, that yellow color, and the black are classic colorworks. But those are the flosses. They're very messy because I took them all out of the package because I was trying to sub them. This is the fabric we got. It is 36 count Maple Bar by Cedar River Linen. It's beautiful linen. I went ahead and I did some test stitches to see if I could work on the linen. Where are my test stitches at? Of course, I probably put them like as far, oh, they're there. So I just used the thread that I was working with, and this is 2 over 2. And you can see, like, it's a little puffy, but I don't care about puffy stitches. I care about, can I get my needle through the holes after I've already put thread through the holes? And I could. So I have no problem, like, not subbing the fabric. I think this will be okay. I think it'll be even better once I'm at home and I have good, strong light. So then here are the actual charts. I'll start with the one you've already kind of seen. This is Teresa's pattern, and it is so cute with the raccoon and the deer with his little squirrel buddy and birds. And of course, like, during their presentation, they talked what every single flower was, and birds, and the types of trees, and I can't remember that kind of that kind of detail. But yeah, so this is Teresa's side of the chart. I like her flowers. I love that little duck too. This is Beth's side of the chart. And the beaver is so cute. And the beehives are amazing. And then there's the little kitty, one of her black cats. And so then, if you can kind of imagine, and like I said, I will already put pictures on, but these line up. And And actually, so when you look at it together, it almost looks like the deer, instead of looking at the squirrel, it almost looks like he's looking at the kitty. And then so for their combined chart, instead of stitching this both times, Beth charted one. So instead of it taking up 2 lines, it only takes up 1 line. But it's the same sentence, or the same sentiment of distance means so little when someone means so much. But it goes across the whole bottom, and then this border goes along the whole bottom. And so it's just a little like shorter because you don't need 2 lines here. So those are the 2 charts. It looks absolutely stunning when you put them together. But I won't lie, I am not a house stitcher. And so I'm kind of like, is there a way that I could just like chart all these beautiful like flowers and birds and animals, and I don't know, like I want to do something from this, and I want to do more than just like normally, you know, I would just take like one thing off each and put it in my journal. I want to do more than that, but I just don't know that I want to stitch the whole thing, but I would still like to have like an impressive large project. And then they even gave us a special biscornu pattern, which features the raccoon and the beaver. One side is the raccoon, the other side is the beaver. And they said that this is going to be the only way, because if they release these biscornus later, Teresa will be releasing her raccoon and Beth will be releasing her beaver. So the only way that you could do this again would be to buy both biscornu patterns. But yeah, so like, and then so that's where I referenced the buttons. I think you can see the buttons are on the, maybe they didn't, but they gave us buttons and they were like, yeah, that could be the center of your biscornu. So that was everything that came in the kits. And now I will show you what I bought at the shop. Okay, so everything that I bought at the shop, it was very good. Actually, it was very good and restrained. So this is all floss that I bought for the endeavor of switching out the Weeks Dye Works. And keeping in mind that not only do I need you know, enough to replace the original skeins, I need enough to do it 2/1. So that's why there's like a lot of multiples. But these were the only colors: the dark green, the light green, the blue, this sort of like greeny, gray, browny color, one of the darker reds, and then the lighter red. Those were the only ones that I found, stuff that I felt comfortable with. So this is a lot of floss. Yeah, and like I said, I just don't know what to do. I'm conflicted. So I bought this cute little bee needle minder by Primrose Cottage. It was too cute to pass up. I also bought this from Rebel Stitcher Designs, Kamala Breaking the Glass Ceiling. I am going to immediately put this on my Queen of Everything pattern that says, what's a queen without a king? Well, historically speaking, more powerful. And then I had already, this was my only Market pick, because everything else that I wanted from Market will eventually come to PDF. But this is JBW Designs Fleur de Noël. And so I knew this wouldn't come to PDF. And also, she gives it charted in a like a green muted color too, and she gives you the color codes for both. So yeah, I appreciated that, but I fell in love with it for the pink. So when I stitch it, I'll be stitching it in pinks. But that's everything I bought. Like, how good was I? There was tons of pretty fabric that I really wanted but decided to be good and not buy any. So that's what I bought, and now I will show you the last, well, no, there's 2 more categories of things. One is like things that people gifted. I mean, they all kind of fall under things gifted, but I'm gonna separate it from like actual gifts for the tables and then also some charts that I picked up. So be right back. Okay, so this is kind of my pile of stuff, and I was gonna pull it all over to me, but then I thought that seemed silly or wasteful. So I'm gonna start with the big things. I do remember for a couple things. So this was my table mate Mar. She operates Strange Stitches, which she makes floss drops, which are in like the coolest shapes. If you've seen me show before, like the squirrels and acorns, that's Mar from Strange Stitches. She made us these beautiful cups. They say it's a beautiful day to play floss chicken. And they're just, there's the chicken in her little plaid. It's so cute. So that was a table mate gift from Mar. And then also in here somewhere, oh yeah, here they are. So here's her information for social media and her website. And this is the floss drop that she gave us. It is in the shape of Oregon with an acorn cutout for the floss. So cute. And oh, and then you can see when you go to a certain angle, it has Pinwis engraved in it. This was my table mate Gloria. I met her 2 years ago at the first Pinwis, and she always makes table mate gifts. And she made this little pouch, which I'm struggling to open one-handed. It's a good button, y'all. And inside she put basically a little first aid kit of Band-Aids, wet wipes, Tylenol, which is very smart. And you could also use it to hold a small pair of scissors, a pack of needles, needle threader, but she made like all different kinds of fabric. Like she just pulled fabric from her stash, and I picked the bumblebee one. So that was very sweet. And she also bought me a little gifty. Hold on, I gotta snap it or it's gonna, there we go. Or everything's gonna fall out. I had said at the shop that I really liked this I Believe in Santa Paws needle minder. Excuse me. And she grabbed it for me when I wasn't noticing or I wasn't watching. She grabbed it and gave it to me later. So it's by Stitchy Pros. I Believe in Santa Paws. Oh. And then also, just because this is big. Okay. Let's try that again. I realized I needed to cover a phone number. So this is my Smalls Exchange gift from the Smalls Exchange, and it's beautiful. I picked the bag because it was a Christmas bag. You can see I'm putting all my gifties in there. And I was like, I love Christmas, so let's do that. So this is Snowman by Primrose Cottage, stitched on 32 count taupe Lugana, called for floss, stitched and finished by Marsha Carlson. So thank you, Marsha. I don't know if you were from Zoom or, no, you must have been in person, because a Zoom person probably didn't have like that. Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how they do the Zoom things. I know you mail it to the shop, but then how does it get all wrapped up? But so this is cool because this is a chart I either bought or I definitely intended to buy. But I, hadn't done it yet. And so now I don't have to. So thank you, Marsha. And here it is. It's finished beautifully. Oh, it's so pretty. And her stitches are gorgeous. And I'm going to be so happy to display this at Christmas time, because I don't have nearly enough stitched for Christmas. As much as I love Christmas, you would think I would have a bazillion Christmas whips and a bazillion Christmas things finished, but I really don't. I have like 3 finishes. Now this is 4. And I only have 1 Christmas whip. So I'm gonna throw this in here. Throw but not throw. How you do. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I can kind of not throw, but this was an Ort catcher made by one of the lovely ladies at the table next to us, and she had a couple left. She made a couple extra ones, and so she offered them to, it was funny because there was only 2 people at our table at the time, so I think maybe she snuck the opportunity in of like, I have these extra, but I don't want to like not give to everybody. So here, there's only 2 of you. Take my last 2. I like the fabric. So yeah, little ort catcher. I put all my orts from the event in there. This was somebody was doing a Stitch It For Me project, which I can put a picture in here because I don't have it to show it to you, obviously, and I forgot that that was part of my stitching. But usually the rules for Stitch It For Me are either use whatever floss you're using or pick from a bag of floss and then you take the floss. So I picked this Gloriana. I can't read the name. That's okay. Wait, maybe I can. Lucky old sun. But yeah, so because I picked it, I get to keep it. So her name is Jen, the person who we did the thing for, the Stitch It For Me. It's really cool because it's a Christmas tree. And so then she did the tree and then everybody's stitching the ornaments. Somebody, when we weren't at the table, dropped by these little like counting pins or stick them in a Biscornu pin. Also, when we weren't at the table, somebody throwing things around. Somebody dropped off these floss jewelries. Very pretty. This is a keychain of a pretty tree. Oh, they left a card. Okay. All right. So yeah, they left this. Very nice. Somebody walked around with these cutest little acorns. They were all different colors and shapes, or different, well, they were all acorns, but different sizes. Y'all. Yeah, so a cute little acorn. Adorable. This person passed around a baggie that had a waxer and some floss drops and one of those mascara wands for frogging purposes. Somebody offered us a nail file for our stitching kit. I don't know why one would need a nail file for stitching specifically. And this is interesting. Oh, wait, is this a magnifying glass? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what this is. Kind of looks like it's a magnifying glass. I don't know. I could have swore they said that it was a file, but I could be wrong. I don't know. But it looks like it might magnify, but then I'm holding it up to that and it doesn't actually look like it's magnifying anything. Then I can't get the cap on that, so I'll just set it to the side. These were floss drops from Audrey, the Witchy Stitcher, or Stitchy Witch 42, sorry. But she has this little thing hand that she brings and she uses in staging of photos. So definitely, you know, it's an Audrey thing when you have the hand, the thing hand. Some floss drops from Tracy, who is Tracy Stitches on Instagram. She usually makes floss drops of her pup, and I'm a doggy person, so I was like, yep, dog please. I know she had floss drops of a different image, but I said, doggy please. This was, somebody was going around with needle minders that I guess they had wanted to sell, but then they weren't having luck, and so they were just like, take as many as you want. And so I grabbed the butterfly, which may go on to my birthday start, and then this pretty flower one. Sorry, just making sure I don't like drop heavy things into my glass. So this is from the Generous Stitcher on Instagram, and she gave us a regular needle and a beading needle. Very kind. somebody left a, oh, Beth Lindenman. There's the IG and their website. Left a, you know, like you can, it's a sticker, so you can put this on the back of your stitching, that you title, stitch by, date notes. And another gifty of, looks like just the mints with a business card. Y'all, one-handed. Oh, it's rough. Kristen Cherie. Doesn't say like what they do, what they make, but a couple of mints. And then two last things. Another mascara wand and a little like zipper pull, something that you can put. There's a little white label right there, so you can write your like project name on it. And this is from Mama Doll Watt MD. Trying to get to the name. June Evans. Yeah. And then, whoop, y'all, I'm struggling. From Devi Sisk, Glitter Dove Fairy. Oh, that's funny. I follow her on Instagram too. It's so funny. I realized after we had all wrapped up when I saw somebody's picture, and they were the table next to me, and it was somebody from my Instagram. But she gave us a 2024 charm and a pink dumpster on fire sticker. Always love dumpster fire references. And so that's it. That's everything that I got as like a table mate gift. And now I'm going to show you the patterns that I picked up that people were giving away. Okay, last clip, I promise. So these charts, I believe, basically all came from my friend Gloria. She brought so much to D-Stash. So I picked up Very Merry Christmas by GBW Designs. It's similar to that Very Merry Autumn one that I did for my needle book that then I couldn't give away. This cute little one, I'm gonna make that a full-on rainbow, like rainbow colored sweater, so he'll be a little pride penguin. It's called Warm, or is it called Warm Wishes? No, it's called it's a Wee One Wally. Yeah, so cute. This I just thought was pretty. This would make an excellent little small pillow to do for a smalls exchange. This had been a freebie from Lindy Stitches, and I had never seen it before. And I think I would stitch it maybe without the word. I would just stitch the swan with the flowers and the water and stuff. I really love how Buttercup Designs does kitties. And so this was a 3. I think I would only stitch this, the one with the flowers and the butterfly is very cute. And then I picked up, this is just so stinking cute. I'm really not a fall or Halloween stitcher, but I think I just wanted it to live with me for a little while. I probably wouldn't stitch, I don't know if I would stitch the words. I love the acorn border around it. Yeah, very cute. There's even a little like acorn charm on it. And then this one, so this is by La Di Da. I love the movie The Princess Diaries, and they use that song in The Princess Diaries, Catch a Falling Star and Put It in Your Pocket, Save It for a Rainy Day. So I was thinking that I might stitch this, and it would make me think of that movie. Then, the piece de la resistance. She has stitched so much of this and was giving away the whip. Look at this, y'all. Look at it. I told her that I could not make any promises that I will actually finish this because it is 40 count. So it is 40 count. So I don't know, but like, look how much she's done. Okay. So like, if you look at what's here, okay, all she had left was from this beehive down and then over to the bunny, although she did start that motif. And then just like some of the basket. Like just, well, I mean, she even started the basket itself. Like she's missing 4 houses. She did most of the flowers. I mean, it's just like, come on, it's so good. So I was like, okay, Gloria, I cannot promise you that I'll finish this, but like it needs to live with me for a little while. The potential needs to be, you know, the potential of me finishing it, because I do own all these charts. I had bought them and I was like, when am I gonna stitch them? That's none of my business. But yeah, so I was like, this needs to live with me for a little while. So yeah, that's a wrap on Pinwest. You can see my chaotic mess here. I'm about to pack everything up to go home and get back to stitching on Caroline. Oh, well, correction. Finish stitching Stitch for Pride. I will show you what that looks like when it's done and talk about the artist and everything I learned. And then that'll be the end of this vlog. And then I'm going to go back to stitching the Caroline Manning piece. So, all right, that's it for now. See you in the next clip. Bye. Hey everyone, it is Friday, September 20th. It's been, I last recorded 5 days ago. I did finish my Stitch for Pride drop, and I promised that I would do this recording just so y'all could see the finish of the drop before I ended this vlog. And I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet because with all those clips from PNWSS, this is kind of a long video, which I was trying to avoid by doing it over like half the month. But anyway, so this is how the whole piece is looking. Again, once again, every time I look at it, I am so in love. This month's drop is this right here, which is inspired by the artwork of Lahua Uakea, who is a Hawaiian artist. They use a tree bark. I can't remember the name of it now, but they use natural, like Hawaiian traditions, and the material comes from tree bark. There was a really cool video that we watched that Dee provided us the link for, of them actually, not Lahua Oakea, but somebody like prepping the bark for the art, and then they use natural things like spices and foods and just things that they can get color from for dye. And so when I looked at Lahua Uakea's art, there was a piece, actually the piece was in the like gallery of artwork, but then Dee provided a video to the artist talking about this particular piece and how it meant like the rainbow for all of us. And so I was very inspired by that. As far as the color, I knew I wanted to go orange because I want this sampler to have all of the Progress Pride flag colors. And I was lacking an orange. And in the called for floss, there is a bit of like a peachy orange, orange in the called for. And so I was like, okay, let me kind of extract that. And then when I looked at their art, there was a lot of very like autumnal colors. I do wish that I'd been able to find something that was just like a bit more like rusty or brownish, but like still very distinctly orange. But I think that it looks really good next to this brown here, and then next, because this is a very like orangey red, I just think the placement looks really nice. So yeah, this is caught up through September. We won't get another drop for 10 days. We've had a sneak peek, and it's gonna go over here. I don't know how far down. The sneak peek did show us to about here, but I mean, it didn't, it definitely did not look complete. So I'm guessing it's gonna take up, you know, quite a bit of space. But there's a bat, and the bat is like, its little feetsies are gripping something, and that was what was undone. So I'm sure it's gonna take up quite a bit of this space. And then I'm thinking like there's going to be another drop here, and then clearly something has to fill that. So yeah, all right, that's really it. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this vlog out and start getting, you know, footage for the next one. So thanks everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.